slash corporations going down the drain, it's because Biden doesn't even know he's president. He goes, I've been vice president for the last 8 years or 4 years. We're like, what? You realize you're in charge here. You're like, oh, I'm in charge? Yeah, that's you. You know, you got to remind these people. He's a very humble man. That's how humble he is with humility. He didn't even know he was in charge. I don't know who's steering this shit. Let's go to DeCastro, I guess, and then maybe we'll go to Biden if we have some time. He's a gaff a minute, this guy. That's why I love Joe Biden. It kind of brings something extra to this idea of country, U.S., the simulation, the saga, the soap opera. It's fucking great.
And hey,
Hello,
I'm going to jump
Gator.
down.
Later, Gator.
Okay, but I'm restreaming you, so could you please put up like chain link messages
Later,
or
Gator.
something?
Hello, world.
Maybe yell at the folks trying to check this
Goodbye,
out.
Joshua.
My name is Chili the Castro.
Yeah, okay,
Hello,
adios,
world.
guys.
Hello,
Later.
world. Hello, world. Later, Gator.
Hello, world. Today is May 18th, 2024. My name is Chili the Castro. I'm a journalist who's been wrongfully convicted and locked up in the Clark County Detention Dungeon in Nevada. I'm an innocent man who's been put in jail for filming a cop, and that is the extent of any so-called crime. It's absolutely preposterous that I'm in here, and while I'm in here, you're going to be led by people who are going to mislead you. People are going to try to scare you and say things that simply don't have any constitutional merit or value. They just don't. So I've asked the people to petition the court, and as you should, I have a hearing coming up for the appeal brief that's going to be on July 10th.
Yeah, that's it right there. See, they'll say Paulie Boy's got a really high opinion of himself and he just projects shit. I do sometimes. I'm not a high opinion of myself, but I sometimes maybe see synchronicity that's not there. He got the official word, is what I'm contending there, right there, because I just said on the last broadcast, don't petition. Right, so they got the word to him. Paulie Boy's over there. He's saying that petitioning is nonsense. You guys are begging your servants to undo a decision they make that you gave him jurisdiction to make, whether you know it or not. Your reply to that was, don't listen to some people, right? This is what they always do when it comes to me. I'm like the Voldemort of this community. I'm the one who shall not be mentioned. Right? They'll never just shoot straight and direct. Some people are going to tell you not to petition and beg your servants for a jurisdiction you all gave away. They're not constitutionally sound. That's not how that works, dude. You want to get into the Constitution and what the spirit of that law leads to as a contract and what it's supposed to be represented as or embodied as a man? I'm way more of that than you've ever been. Be clear about it. But we're not doing a competition game here. So you're not going to sit there. Penal's giving me the Talcott hand. You're not going to sit there and try to demean or devalue somebody's perspective by just throwing something out for your dumb, gullible audience slaves like he's not constitutionally sound.
Well, hey, man,
and you are exactly how?
Run the rest of the tape, man, because he seemed like he's trying to be sincere.
Don't produce for me, please.
I mean, he believes himself.
Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Remember that one, Pino? That woman? That woman was my hero. If I ever had a woman who was my hero... What's that? You're talking over me now. You're doing it. What are you doing? I'm telling you, I'm trying to share with you about my life. And you just talk right over me like you don't even love me or care about what I'm saying. Talking Points. That was Talking Points who just threw that guy out. Talking Points says that there will be no interrupting and producing of Paul Enslaved show. Talking Points also says that you should probably keep a lot of your opinions to yourself. Talking Points suggests that if you're going to give your opinions, that you wait for Mr. Enslaved to stop speaking. Talking Points doesn't necessarily agree with all of the statements or actions of Mr. Enslaved. All right, let's move on. Jeremy, you're back.
2024 in front of Michelle Levitt, Judge Michelle Levitt. The court should be petitioned to release me and to grant my petition to be released. It's called an appeal petition. So that's what it is. Everything filed in the court is a petition or a writ. And anybody who tells you you cannot petition the court is a charlatan, and they're misleading you. You know, I can sit here and tell you that the world is going to turn to mush tomorrow, and then I can sit and give you the validation as to the reasons why the world is going to turn to mush tomorrow. And it can make perfect sense to you. Just like Don LaPree, multi-million-dollar real estate deal. If you buy his videos, you're going to be a millionaire in the real estate market. You remember Don Lapre? And he sat up there, and how many millions of dollars did Don Lapre make, telling you, if you get my system, you're going to be a millionaire next year. Just follow my steps, and you're going to be a millionaire
That's
too.
you.
And so someone can sit up there and say, I'm credentialed, and I know. Well, let me give you just a little bit of a rundown on the history of petitioning in America. July 14th, 1798, President John Adams signs the Sedition Act that says that any sort of obstructing a federal law or for publishing malicious or false writing about the government or the military will get you locked in jail. The Sedition Act does not last. It's going to fall because it's illegal. The First Amendment gives you the right to petition, and I'm calling for you to petition the court to release me because it's perfectly legal to petition the court. July 29th.
Right, it's perfectly legal, and you keep playing into the legal system for your remedy and resolution. That's what's caused this problem. Mitchell will tell you, the others who live this and walk this will tell you, that's precisely the problem. That you keep playing into what the difference between legal and illegal is because you don't understand lawful remedy and resolution. You don't understand the law and how to get lawful remedy and resolution. You give them jurisdiction, you're in contract with them, and then you want to use legal society remedy in the form of asking and begging your servants to undo their decision. Like you did if you went to your brother and said, hey, Tommy, go ask daddy to let me out of my room. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what this is. You can use affidavit and claim on record as well. You could be recognized as a man with natural rights. Why are you not using that lawful remedy resolution system? Why are you encouraging everyone? You're the charlatan and fraud guru, just like Alphonse called his bitch ass out. Been waiting. He said 2 weeks. I'll talk to you about this patriot mythology on your channel. We've been waiting almost a year now. You think he's ever going to show up? Probably not. You guys are the indirect charlatans. You guys are the ones who don't understand being a lawful man under God. You guys are the inauthentic corporate males who've been born inside of a slave system you can't even see the walls of, that you're spouting the rhetoric of, dummy. You don't want to have to appeal to their reason in order to get our rights and the law upheld. You want to appeal to God and your claim and the law in order to get your rights upheld. This is like, I don't know how else to, maybe I'm not saying it in a way that can actually just fucking click in common sense. I got to give them some act of 1798 for it to click in common fucking sense.
Who do you like? Who do you think you are now? You're like the grifter audit guy?
I know. Who do I think? I'm the one with the millions of dollars condo. I'm the one who said to me, he said to me one day, I'll play it, in front of a pro boxer who rebranded himself as a patriot, another inauthentic corporate male fraud, David Rodriguez, saying we're going to wait for the storm in QAnon to fix it. When I got in their face and said, this is how you do it, boys, they said, we're not doing that. We got obligations and families and money to make. We're not risking getting our shit taken and going to jail. And here your bitch ass is in jail crying. Do you see how it works? So let's cut the games. When you put your claim on record, that's where your voice and power and inspiration is. When you appeal to your servants to change their reason, you gave away your power again. We could do that. It might be effective. It'd probably be better for everyone if we just went on record as lawful men and women, as this guy's coughing and hacking and whatever else he's doing. Yeah, nothing stopping you and everyone else from getting lawful remedy and resolution by filing with the court an affidavit or claim saying Mr. DeCastro is such and such and not this, and we require under law for him to be restored to his original condition, as you would put it, a free man. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to encourage you, the charlatan fraud grifter who says, buy my trifold, you'll know legal process, you'll be a scholar like me, and you'll get yourself deeper in trouble at court. That's you. I'm the one saying, if we keep appealing to the legal society and legal process, we're going to lose the idea of God if we haven't already. We're going to lose our natural rights, and we're going to have to appeal to their good sense whenever we want to engage in our rights and freedom and uphold the law. I don't see the sense in that. whether it works out good for you or not, because you have a platform and you don't have to do jail time, you think, because 500,000 people are going to write letters to get you out of it. The next motherfucker will. And that doesn't work for everyone. It works for you, but not everyone. Because you're a selfish motherfucker and you don't care about what's true and what's right, nor do you care about God or the law of this land. And you don't think I see right through you? I could only wish, and that's why you didn't do it, that you come on record and call me out directly, because I know you're talking about me. I know the word got back. DeCastro texted me directly 2 weeks before he went to jail. He was looking to interact with me for some reason. I never got down to it because most of these people I never really get back to. I really don't want to deal with them because I really don't think they got the goods. I really don't think they're about it. I think they're lying to themselves and me and everyone else, and they're trying to get me caught up somehow. You want to be completely clear about it and candid? I don't know what Penal Power's doing. Yeah, let's get back to it. Get the trifold, get the board game, buy the book, buy the t-shirt, and somehow we're going to get our rights back while you appeal to legal process and legal society, corporate male folks, and let them speak for you while calling yourself constitutional law scholar. Then saying folks like myself have no constitutional standing. I'm a man of the people, fuck slave. You can't diminish my capacity the way you allowed them to diminish yours by showing up as a person and a state of entity. That's you.
Yeah, I'm confused why he didn't try to like move it to a federal jurisdiction, since the federal courts have original jurisdiction, and I thought he would have known of all people that.
Why? Okay, I'm not even going to start an argument with you.
No, I'm not. It's not an argument. I was just wondering. It's just general curiosity. Like,
so he has to get this case moved to federal jurisdiction in order to just not present as a citizen slave.
No, I'm just there's a lot of things he could have done, but I'm just understanding why he didn't take more of a constitutional route, because he does seem to have a lot of understanding on a lot of cases.
He has a generalized corporatized understanding of American history with little to no depth, and he has some case law committed to memory. You think that this is in any way? Yeah, I'm not saying that I have it at all either. I'm just saying I'm simplifying it. Regardless of even consequences. Shit, I could go to court next time and they give me a 360 instead of a 180. It's not going to change the fact that I didn't appeal to the legal society and legal process. I'm not letting another man speak for me and then giving him a new car or two to do it. Can we just get to basics here? I'm not going to encourage the other people who've been here this whole time with me to petition and beg servants to let me out because they've been mean and I was mean. If they want to go on record and call these people up and hold them accountable and put their word on record through affidavit, that's a different remedy and resolution. That's common fucking sense. I'm not going to ask them to beg the people who just had me incarcerated to let me out and rethink what they did. No, I'm going to encourage them to put themselves and what happened with me on record and say, this is unlawful. We require you to restore that man to his life and livelihood. There's no pleading. There's no begging. There's no petitioning in that. It's simple. If I didn't do no wrong and I didn't show up the way he did at court, put myself in dishonor, and they want to cage me, at that point, that karma's on them. That's their judgment.
Yeah, man, it's a procedural court, and that's how they get everybody's on procedural violations. And technically, it is like a tea party. And if you disrupt the tea party, man, like,
you guys are annoying. You guys down there are annoying. Like, you don't go away. You sit up under me for over a year. You fucking try to redirect everything for your own wants and needs and validation. Like, you won't even let people move on. Like that. It was so 10 minutes ago. You remember how the girls used to say out in the valley? That was so 10 minutes ago, whatever it was, 20, 30 minutes ago. I've completely moved on. We're doing DeCastro now. And still cycling and spinning down there with the other goofy broad. Okay, we're going to team up and go up and prove something up Holly Boy. It's like, just blow me already. Just suck my dick in tandem and leave already, or just go away. Like, this is what it comes down to. I didn't ask you for anything. I don't need anything from you. You're here all the time. You obviously are in love with me. What do you want to do about it? I'm not going to date you long term. You're not going to have my children. I don't want nothing to do with you. You want to suck my dick and move on? Maybe we'll talk about that. And I probably shouldn't do that either. I've learned as a man even with limited to no experiences with women throughout my life, not really being a ladies' man, I've learned that even if a woman throws something at me and I could have it or want it, I probably shouldn't. So if I don't respect you and you don't respect me and we're not going to work together or take this anywhere, even if you want to suck my dick and will, you probably shouldn't. Ethically, Jesus probably wouldn't like it. Not so sure I would like it either. Probably a lot of teeth to it. Go ahead. Say what you need to say. Be seen, be heard, get it all out.
Hello, Paul.
Hi, Sophia. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I hope you're doing well too.
Did you make me some of that down south tea and pecan pie?
I haven't, but I could.
All right. After you suck this pipe, I want to have some pecan pie and drink some cold. I don't even like that fucking cold tea from down south. It sucks. Let's be clear about that.
I'm just coming on here to apologize again that I have been.
Oh my God, she's sorry again. If she's not being passive aggressive and presumptuous, she's apologizing to me. You didn't do nothing to me, so Sophia,
I owe
please.
everyone an apology.
No,
because
you don't. You don't have to be sorry to be seen and heard and then give apologies that are not. You didn't do wrong to anyone.
There are people that people think it's me and it's not me. And I asked her to join the panel to prove it, and now she hasn't. So
who cares, Sophia? Honestly, like who really cares what these people are saying and thinking?
Well,
if you know you're not that person, then that's what matters, right? You and Jeebus know it.
Thank you for believing me, Paul. It's not. That's not
I don't
me.
have to believe you to not believe you. Does that make sense?
Yes, actually, it does. I appreciate listening to you. I appreciate the information that you bring forth and the way that you challenge me to think, and whether people know it or not, or believe it or not, and it doesn't matter. I have grown since I first met you.
I don't deny that, Sophia, and I don't even need credit for that. We're here.
You gotta appreciate.
Please. I don't need
I mean, just like I say with other people, just because I don't see eye to eye on every single thing, doesn't mean that I can't
tell me
respect.
What you need from me or with me that can stop whatever this looping process is with you.
I don't need anything.
You need from
I just like to listen to you.
Listening
I like to listen to you sometimes, and I like to chat.
Listening doesn't require typing. Listening doesn't require telling me what God has to offer me, which I'm pretty sure you did. Unless that was the other one. That
wasn't me. I didn't do that, Paul.
Okay.
I learned that the last time.
My mistake then.
The last time that we talked, you told me you did not need
what was the whole thing with you just now in chat, getting together with her and trying to team up and come here and prove something? I
was just trying to prove that I'm not her.
Okay. Well, I'll accept it. I'm taking your word. Even though I believe I have reasons to not, I'm taking your word that you're not that person.
I'm truly not. And I do apologize to everyone.
I don't want you to be a person who lacks. Take that to Talcott. He loves when people apologize because he knows he has power over them. I'm not looking for you to be sorry in life. I believe it's because you are a victim in a way and sorry that you present the way you do. So I'm not going to further that so I can be in control. Right? Like I'm just saying there's a lot of this thing that goes on with people. It's like this looping, hooking, clutching, just codependent, needy, desirous. I can't really come up with, I guess the proper way to describe it. It's more of a feeling with people than it is even something they're doing or not doing. It's like, we come here every day. It's over a year and a half. Folks are just constantly in the chat with we want this. We need this. Why is he saying this? Why is he not doing this? And I go, where does this go for you? What do you get out of this?
Well,
right? In a way, I'm trying to serve you.
I've realized the very, very hard way that first impressions, unfortunately, are lasting impressions. And I'm never going to be able to live down the reputation of things that I'm reading right now in your chat.
Your problem is that you believe you're that important and have such an important reputation that you're now never going to live down. There's your loop.
I really don't
Stop.
think I'm important. I
Then
really,
it doesn't
really don't.
matter who you are in the grand scheme of things. You're a faceless person on the internet to a barely 1,000 or 2,000 after the fact live broadcast. Why you've put so much time, energy, attention into the thought and feeling of the outcome of what the audience, according to you, is going to like think of you, that you're never going to live down. You've made yourself a victim again. You're doing what I just described. Are you able to just live without closure at times? Say, I don't care what these people think and how they judge me. I know me and how I'm living. I'm not doing anything wrong. And guess what? I'm not that important, including me, to take myself so seriously that I can't embarrass myself at times or be judged and then move on and say, if that is the case and I am misjudged and I'm not living it down, well, then that's more incentive for me to not do the same behavior that got me in that position, which you're still doing. Yep. So you want the audience, according to you, they all have the same opinion of you. You want it to change, yet you're not changing the way you're dealing with people and these situations and expecting it to change. Do you see the root of the issue of what I'm talking about?
I do, and everything
if you just stopped caring today, showed who and what you were, or stayed away from here, it would just kind of change over time and go away. You won't let it, is why it's continuing.
You're right, Paul. You're right.
I usually am. It's what I do here.
I got a Socratic question.
Me come on panel. I'm not trying to prove
Now,
anything.
let me give you this too. You also presume that I and everyone just inherently see you as some negative, bad person creature. I don't know if you really believe that or if you just say it to get sympathy and play the victim.
I don't
think sympathy. You really believe that I or anyone here has cast you out. You're never going to live it down. You're just some lowlife we spit on. Cut it out.
I don't want sympathy. I don't want sympathy, and I definitely don't think I'm a victim. I have been through things.
You're the annoying aunt who we all love. That's all this is, all right? You're part of our dysfunctional family at this point. You're like the annoying aunt who we all love, but we just kind of go out back to smoke dope and talk with Paulie Boy and kind of make sure she doesn't see where we're going. You know, because it just becomes something.
That's your fake Christian, Paulie. Fake Christian.
I'm not interested. This is partially why she's doing this, because she's surrounded by beta males like you who are constantly emotional, chasing her and projecting onto her. You beta males don't know how to like reveal to these women and lead them in some way. You just fucking make them more fearful, self-doubting, and insecure. Then they got to come to my doorstep with this broken personality disorder. And I got to go, no, don't be completely sorry. And also don't think everything you have to say and feel and think and share is the utmost important and most profound thing ever. It's probably not. We'll find a middle ground here. You know, it's like this process of balancing over time where they finally just get it. Like, don't do too much. Don't do too little. Just do what's right.
I think
what's right.
We ought to have Sophia give some
of her
advice on the current tape we're watching. And Sophia, you know, since you care so much about ethics and empathy, and
there's something wrong with the volume. I can't hear whoever that is.
Just ignore him. He's trying to produce for me again, even though I asked him.
I mean, if Paul's the only one that's allowed to say anything interesting, then I guess you're right. I'm trying to produce for you.
No, I'm not allowed. I'm not the only one allowed to say anything interesting. It's just oftentimes that's the way it works out.
Oh, no.
Sophia, so anything interesting that you'd like to say? I mean, it's here.
I'm
not stopping him from saying anything interesting, am I? Just you haven't.
Paul enslaved, shaved my wife.
I'm trying to interact with this woman. It's over 1.5 years of personal, impersonal interaction. And then you're like producing for me.
Yeah. I mean,
you got this thing with me that you're doing half the time where like you're pulling a Steve Martin on me. Paul's the only one allowed to talk on his broadcast. I'm going to do most of the talking here. It's why I set this place up. If you don't like it, wait or leave. Or get in where you fit in. There's times where I stop running my big mouth and I take a breath. I guess get in where you fit in. I stopped just there when you said you had something. You said, let me give a Socratic question. I stopped. I waited. You didn't take it anywhere. And now and see what you did now indirectly? You drew this idiot out. who doesn't know whether to compliment me or demean me. He was on Brian's channel earlier saying, this is the Paul Enslaved we love. If he could only be this all the time,
I
we would
remember
really.
Barney. Hi, Barney.
Yeah,
Is he
there
on
you
your
go.
other channel?
You remember the old loser who's been here for 2 years, watching, waiting, sucking my feet or hating because he can't find his own life purpose and meaning and value and goals.
Barney's
Why
He's
don't
not
going
a
to
bad
project
guy.
onto me or reject whatever I'm doing constantly.
Why don't we bring on the
Is
next
he
piece
on
of
your
scheduled
other
content you
channel?
have?
Because I don't see him in your chat. Is he on your Paula and
I
Slave
don't know
channel?
what these people are doing. This is why I can't open the panel beyond a certain point, because it just becomes a gang fuck of nothingness and personality disorder. And it just takes me out of whatever the great thing that they all said that I'm known for, that they love to watch and listen to, that when they come up, become the undoing to. It's a bizarre thing that I occupy here. Because it's like, I love people. I want to interact with people. I want to do a good broadcast as well. And that seems what fucks everything up. And then, like, people don't understand, I can't do a good broadcast and also talk like we're at some luncheonette. Like, I guess contact me privately, see if I'll answer, see if we'll meet up, and we can just talk about, like, just, regular day-to-day stuff. How's the weather? How's the kids? How's the dog doing? What do you think and feel about me? Like, where are we going in this life?
How's the
Here it's a
progression of
different
economy?
idea, different presentment. I just can't get him to understand that.
Bring on the next piece of content. Let Sophia comment on it, and then you could set her correct.
I don't even want to set her correct because it doesn't seem that she wants to listen to me and take my suggestions.
She needs a substantial subject. Otherwise, she's just talking.
It doesn't seem most people who come here actually respect me and value what I do or think I actually can help them or give them any information. I'm pretty much just like you said. I'm either the content like a zoo creature, or they want to see me get arrested, or like they want to see me fight and argue with people, it seems, or they want to be the one fighting and arguing with me and playing some kind of power game. I've become Jack Talcott. I'm like, let's get back to me now. I'm doing that. I go, hey, I probably have some answers for everyone else, whether I do for me or not. I'm doing that. Like, hey, you guys are constantly disrespecting me in this platform and this audience. I'm sick of the disrespect. I'm doing that now. I've gotten full Talcott here. But see, the difference is I feel there's with good reason. So does he. Now you got me thinking I'm just like him and completely insane. Thank you. I started the broadcast going, I have something to say. People seem to value me. They seem to like what I do. I seem to be entertaining. I seem to be getting better at speaking and just talking from the heart and surrendering the rest. And then we did panel. And now I don't know how to get out of it. Maybe I need it. Maybe all the criticisms are real and true and I'm just not taking them. Your thoughts, Peanut Power. Help me out here. We got to move on.
I'm curious to know how it felt to go from.
Admit this. Barney's correcting me. It wouldn't be right if I didn't correct it, okay? Because sometimes it gets hot. I start looking around the room. I see other people who are known for certain things, and I start presuming that they're doing it now, what they did in the past. He said he was calling Jeeps a spoiled brat. That wasn't meant for me because he's called me that essentially in the past. He said, you're in your ego, Paul. You're acting like a child. You're picking on everyone. You're bullying online. This is not the Paul Enslaved who we come to know and love. So I apologize if that's the case, Mr. Bad Barney. I was incorrect. I presumed, and apparently you were insulting and abusing Jeep Girl, who I guess I can't stop you from doing that. Wouldn't be right of me.
Paul, can I say something to Sophia real quick?
Absolutely. Well, let's fuck this up even more. Why not? Let's go all the way.
No. I'm going to say something. She seems like you said, she doesn't want to let go. She keeps coming back. She wants validation, whatever she wants. I'm sure the scripture says that the world is a transit place, not a place to stay. Do you acknowledge that or no, Sophia?
Was he asking me that?
Yes.
Can he repeat that? Because literally the volume is so bad, I cannot hear what he's saying.
All right, I'll repeat it again. Could you hear me or no? Am I clear?
I can hear you better now.
Beautiful. Since we're all into the scripture, like, the fake Christians, fake Muslim, whatever, your scripture said the world is a transit place, not a place to stay. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, I do.
So why do you keep coming back? You want like kind of validation from Paul and all that? I don't get it.
No, I like to listen to Paul sometimes. He has a lot of good things to say.
Okay, but you also bash him on many channels and say a lot of bad things about him.
No, I really don't.
I have screenshots if you want to disagree, since you're a great fake Christian.
I've
I see. Here we
expressed my
go. It's every
opinions.
time.
I have expressed
And
my
again,
opinions from time to time,
she
but that
probably
doesn't
is
mean
doing
that.
it, but she's not doing what you're saying, because from her perspective, it's not bashing of me. See, I have to interpret. This is like
You're
why I'd
right.
be a good marriage counselor at this
Right.
point.
I've not bashed Paul, and every
Because
time I
everyone's
have said
lying
something
indirectly.
about
They're just
him,
not, it's not technically a lie because they're playing dumb, or they just are dumb. So it's like, I'm not bashing him. I just have feelings about him, and I go everywhere I can to like spew them and make it seem like I have some problem or issue with him. That's what it is, right? They're holding on to some
I
feeling
really
about me that
don't.
they
See, I
express
really
readily.
don't. I don't have an issue with you, Paul. I really don't.
I'm not
really
a
don't
meanie
have an issue
online.
with
You don't think that
anybody.
I'm mean? Oh, come on. I'm mean online. You can go ahead and say it. I'm really mean online.
Sophia, can I just get you to say one time really quick for KTC, Mr. Evan Taylor, Paul slaved my life?
We can't understand you because you're another person who's incompetent and incapable. Can't get out of your own way.
Partially true.
We heard that. I heard that.
Or Black Talcock shaved my wife? Anything similar or something to that effect?
Paul, I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me try to converse with you. I know I didn't really do a very good job of trying to explain myself and trying to apologize, but I know I
I
messed
don't want you to
up.
apologize. You didn't do wrong to me. I'm
I
not going to
did.
accept. I'm
I
not going to
messed
accept an
up.
apology when I don't feel wronged. I'm not asking for one, so why would you give me one that I don't need? You
Well,
didn't do wrong.
I
You
messed up
didn't.
in your chat. I messed up with the people that are in your chat, and for that I apologize.
You know, that's with you. Again, you don't
Sophia,
even have to. You don't even have to.
Everything's first impressions, and you blew it.
Gosh, I wish I could hear. I don't know why I can't hear you guys.
All right, I'm going to end this on an equitable, diplomatic note. Sophia, you're always sweet, except when you're not. I know there's another side to you. I've seen a little bit of it, but you know, you haven't shown it today, and most times, and you're pretty good about that. So it just makes me look like an asshole, and I know that's why you act like that, because it's effective.
I'm not trying to make you look like anything.
No, I do it on my own. It's just the combination of what I do here and then how you show up and what you do, what you guys do in chat, and then how you show up on panel. You're like the nicest, sweetest, kindest Southern woman, you know? And it just makes me look, oh man, I'm the biggest piece of shit asshole, right? Arrogant, ignorant. Fat, yes, yes. Thank you for pointing. There it is, Penal. See, use more of that subconscious resentment you've been stacking up for me that you don't admit is there, and direct it toward broadcasting comedic purposes. Now you're learning.
Paul, I actually think you have a lot of insight and a lot of wisdom, and sometimes maybe you do get riled up and maybe you do like to trigger people, but maybe sometimes that's what needs to happen. I've started to feel more and more doing this, what I felt in my life with a limited venue, like a few people, that folks are not really in this life to complete with themselves and with God and the truth. They're in this to like use God and everyone and everything around them to get whatever the fuck they want. And I'm tired of feeling pulled on and pushed on by everyone around me that can't seem to observe a practical, common sense lifestyle and way of living that benefits all of us, directly or indirectly. That's all it is. Don't take it personal. I'm just that guy at this point. I agree with you. I don't want hooks. I don't want strings. I don't want people following me around, sucking off me. I want to share space and time and conversation with competent, capable people who are either successful or want to be successful, and practice detachment, and don't project and reject, and don't, presume beyond what's sensible. And then, when shown something else, kind of update the program. It's like,
I guess I'm, in a way, it is narcissism. I'm looking for folks who embody what it is I think that I'm either embodying or attempting to embody in practice.
Well, I appreciate you letting me try to come on here and try to set the record straight, but you're absolutely right. It does not matter what anyone thinks. And I accept that, and I'm good with that, and I'm fine with that, and I wish you well. I don't have any malintent or any bad wishes towards anyone. I really don't.
I believe that. I don't contend that you're doing anything malicious or wrongful, and I don't even think you should apologize. All I'm saying is I maybe am projecting what I see in me at times, at least in my past, if not present, onto you, that folks are lacking self-worth, self-esteem, self-value, and they're constantly projecting and rejecting and trying to defend something that at the end of the day doesn't even really matter. I've been guilty of it here at times. I feel an obligation to correct the record. When people lie about me, even the folks in chat, I spend an inordinate amount of time focusing on that and correcting the record, to the point where the people who've been here go, why are you even correcting this for the 1,000th time? Why are you even defending yourself? We know it's bullshit. We know they're trying to rile you up and trigger you. So you want to correct the record, whatever, we could do that. It's the constant push, pull, fixation, need for approval, validation, sort of when it doesn't happen, then there's consequences. I'm just trying to practice for myself and everyone here kind of getting out of that, because I've seen it kind of start to take everyone down in its own way, especially on these panels in these communities. The constant push, pull, competition, need for validation, and the ignorance of the facts and what our histories are and reputations are, and the themes that come up in our individual and collective lives.
Yeah.
I think that's nicely said. That's nicely said, Paul.
And Sophia, I don't think you mean any, like Paul said, I don't think you mean any harm or well intent. I believe you. But all I'm telling you is, whatever you try to hide in your heart will appear in your eyes. Just remember that. People that can see through the things will see through it. And I'm not jabbing at you. I'm just saying that's for everybody, even including me.
I agree.
Now, Sophia, like, I want you to see a third-party perspective, like this Hannah person. Same kind of situation in its own way. I'm not saying you do what she does necessarily. You may have this and not even be aware of it. I'm not even saying that. But just look at it. She comes to a channel that is about me and then says it's all about you. What is my channel supposed to be about, first and foremost? Second of all, my channel is not all about me. You don't see videos of me vacationing, riding bikes around the park, eating good meals, talking about my like individual personalized idiosyncrasies, what I like and want and don't want. This channel has always been and still is about ultimately truth, interpersonal dynamics, rights, freedom, and principles, chaotic conversation that potentially leads to conversion through reconciliation. I literally talk about and show dozens of other channels here that talk about the same truth that have nothing to do with me. So even in your statement, that makes no sense, because people come here literally to only hear and see about me or what I have to say. It's all about me. Yet I don't do that. So much so you all have a freedom to come here and speak, while the rest of the content creators actually make channels all about them and what they want and don't want and what they like and don't like, not even observing the truth at times. Very bizarre characterization, because you're codependent and needy and you expect me to be something for you that apparently your daddy wasn't or was. I don't know which side it's from. Sure, if I talk to you long enough, I'll get the download of what it all is. I'll see the picture. It's strange. The same person coming to my channel saying it's all about me is every day here trying to make it about them.
Well, I appreciate you, Paul, and I'm going to hop down. Thank you for letting me at least attempt to right some of my wrongs. But I realize that for some people, I will never be able to do that. And that's okay. I can accept that. And thanks for letting me try.
I'm sorry. I hate to interject. When you say at least, like, it bothers me. You know why? Because Paul allows everybody to speak. Everybody. So now that to me sounds like a little bit you're being whatever. I'm just saying.
Well, Tarek, I'm just talking. I'm not sitting here dissecting my words and trying to pick and choose my words. I'm just doing my best here. So I don't know why you need to interact with me, but that's a you problem. I don't have a problem with you. The last few times I've been on panels and you've gotten on them, you seem to want to have an issue with me, and I don't have an issue with you. So whatever.
I don't have an issue with you at all. I have an issue. I don't even have an issue with anybody. I'm just tired, like Paul sometimes said, of the fake people that are using religion. And I'm not saying towards you or anybody else, but we can say Jack, you, and a lot of other people sometimes are using this.
Wait a second. This is like literally, I swear, I feel like a marriage counselor between an inauthentic corporate male and female. You just can't fucking directly talk, can you? He just said, I'm not saying it about you, but I could say it about you.
I guess I made a mistake.
Say it about her or don't. Let's get down to it and get beyond it. I'm sick of doing this with you people for months. Do you want to move beyond your crap together or not? If not, keep it the fuck away from me.
I agree with you. 100%.
Not the answer to your problem is being inauthentic and unaccountable. Just be authentic and shoot straight. Say what the fuck is on your mind and heart and get over it. You're not winning any points with God by being nice and kind and polite. You're dishonoring yourself in the truth.
I agree, Paul. Let me retreat.
Numbers are dropping as always. It's what happens when you people all come up here. But then they'll say it's all about me. When it's all about me, the conversation's great. The energy's great. The numbers are up. You don't see the connections? Go to therapy and fix your personality disorder and stop bringing it onto fucking broadcasts. It's ridiculous. All right. This is why most content creators who either are successful or want to be successful don't open an avenue to the public. I don't know why I do when the public doesn't want to better themselves or change their crap. They'd rather play games with everyone up here and go back and do the same thing over again tomorrow. It's incredible.
Paul, excuse me if I may. Would you please put the link down? Cynthia would like to join. Would you allow that?
Here we go. Another person desperate for numbers, validation, attention to stay relevant and in any conversation where she's seen and heard. It's amazing. It's like we set off the signal. It's like someone popped a smoke bomb and now we got them all incoming. Calling all people who are desperate to be seen and heard, need to be validated, have a bunch of feelings they want to express anywhere where they're seen and heard, and then going to try to drive some content over to somewhere else or take it to some other panel. Carry the fucking toxic discussion, non-discussion over there like they all do. They'll be later in slow states chat still arguing about whatever the fuck happened on this broadcast.
My God, you guys seem to be cupcaking to the fake Christian Sophia who has 20 different fake accounts. And here comes Jabba the Jack.
You guys all want to like destroy me in my channel and broadcast.
Can y'all hear me?
We get it. You guys are all loser failures and have no options for mates in your life and are extremely unsuccessful in the corporate world. So you're desperate to subconsciously destroy this broadcast and what I do with your dysfunction.
Cynthia,
you get it.
Cynthia looks mighty jabbed up today.
Let the fake Christians talk, Snafu. Let them talk.
Well, Sophia and Cynthia are the biggest fake Christians here. No wonder they show up.
Yeah, Sophia and Jack.
I have a question. I've never once labeled myself a Christian. I've only simply said that I follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. I am by no means Christ-like. I have a lot to learn. So why do people call me a fake Christian when I've never even claimed to anyone that I am a Christian?
You just threw out everything we just talked about before that you said I was right about, and you're going back to what you've been doing for months and years at this point.
Well, I just am trying to clarify. Why does
Why are you
Snafu?
trying to clarify with people who aren't honestly in your life and caring with you and for you and have nothing to do with you in your life? Why?
Thank you. You're right. You're right,
You
Paul.
can't
I'll
lead them
accept
anywhere,
that.
correct their problems, or help them because you can't help yourself at this point. So what's the point?
Well,
I
see,
could at least say at certain times I'm doing that for effect or to create content because I can bring it back around to a valuable monologue or discussion about what could be done. I don't think you have the answer for yourself, let alone others. So what's the point? You just want to play the victim. And this is why you're going to say you're never going to live down the reputation from the audience because you're doing it at every turn. And you're apparently not willing to listen to what I'm saying or put it into practice and just stop the game.
Hey,
it's going to have to take work. You're going to have to practice it. I get it. We all do it at times. I guess you could argue some way more than others. What can I do for you, Cynthia? What's, what can I do for you?
I wanted to come by. First of all, I saw Sophia up here, so I felt like it was a good space to come to. So yay, Sophia. Thank you, Chica.
What does Sophia being here have to do with the space and you being here?
Because it just feels safer with her here.
Because you're a falsely empowered codependent, and that's why I usually don't do well with you or deal with you.
Whatever.
You don't feel safe enough and comfortable enough in yourself in your life to come up and be yourself and have a conversation without Sophia being here.
Okay, well, I had some questions for you. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain a second. Are you interested?
Sure, go ahead.
So I noticed the like this dynamic between you and Flo, but then every time you do come over there, I feel like you run, but I don't feel like you're the one that's just like running. So I'm curious, from your perspective and your point of view, do you feel like you get there only to be attacked, or do you feel like you're really lured there for genuine conversation?
They're doing a broadcast about me that day. You're pretending the whole broadcast wasn't about me.
It wasn't all about you.
If you're going to ask me for this is why I don't deal with you.
Okay.
You just asked me a question, then cut me off.
Okay.
Because you don't really want an answer. You're doing today what you did there that day. And now you're asking like you don't know what's going on. This is another reason I don't deal with you. Because either you play dumb to play power games, or you really are this stupid and can't figure out life. I don't doubt it. You took a jab. You have no friends and family, obviously, and not successful in anything. So I wouldn't deny that you just can't figure out how anything in life works, including social or broadcasting dynamics. I don't doubt that.
You said that the whole show was about you, and I was clarifying
the show non-show. It's not a show. This is how bizarre you all are. A bunch of low-life loser failures sitting 10 to a panel is not a show. It's only a show of your dysfunction and lack of success. That's the show. That's why we tune in, to watch you fail.
So
and embarrass yourselves and pretend to be something. That's the game. That's the show.
Okay. Well, so I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Right. So when you do the whole broadcast with my face as a thumbnail and a name that I saved Denver, and then do 2 hours on me saving Denver and lying, I'm giving you something by showing up and giving you the person you're talking about and the interaction and the numbers and attention. You should be thankful and grateful, not play power games with me, put me in the back and think that I can't just leave and not come back and you're not going to be worse off for it. You need me and the interaction with me. I don't need you and an interaction with you. Get it through your head.
Well, you do understand we're not talking about my panel or my show.
It doesn't matter. You're all the same person. You have no following of your own. You have no audience of your own. You have no movement of your own. You have no content of your own. Nobody shows up to listen to you speak on your own. So you have to talk about other people. And you're angry and bitter and jealous because the people you're talking about are doing better than you. And when they show up to talk to you, instead of you addressing the facts and actually getting a good interaction, you're two in your own way playing little childlike power games. So you're horrible at broadcasting.
If you're going to do the like you come over there and then you don't get treated with like hospitality. We'll even call it Southern.
It's not about hospitality. If I come over in honor and good faith and I give you good conversation and I give you numbers and attention, I give you everything you want that I have that you don't have. That leads to you getting the money you don't have that you're all desperate for. You should probably be, if not thankful and grateful, smart enough to have an authentic, exciting, interesting interaction without playing bitch ass power games. Because at that point, I just leave and let you destroy yourselves and don't come back. Try again in a month or two, I guess. You'll figure it out.
Just to
I might have took Slow State's 30 live audience up to 100 or 150. He won't let me. He's a dummy. That's why he had to go back to not hanging drywall horribly as a self-contractor. Give me a break. This is why you're not going to be successful in anything you do, because you can't step outside of yourself to see what should happen or what could happen that would be better than whatever you're doing.
I'm only asking these questions because I'm like a third party.
You shouldn't have to ask these questions. It's obvious. You want to come in with the fake, I ran. What am I running from? Your loser failure ways?
I'm trying to determine.
I ran head over heels away from the loser failure dumb energy that couldn't figure out what to do, when, why, and how, while making it all about me. You're right. I ran from that because I was so scared of winding up like you in Slow State. I was scared. I ran.
Well, the whole show wasn't about you. And I was just.
It was. Would you like me to pull it up now and show how much you're a liar?
Let's go ahead. And we can also show where I came up and said words about you. Let's pull it up.
Okay, so what was the name of it?
Let's pull it up. Let me go see.
Hey, look, you're playing.
I'm pretty sure that you're speaking of was what now?
You're letting her produce your show, man. Look at the content on her face.
No,
I know. As long as they get, I'm giving her what she wants on some level, because I want to make sure here that I'm not completely. Remixing the narrative, because unless I'm, again, anything's possible. I'm so Joe Biden'd out that in my mind, I imagined that it was about Paulie saving Denver. I just made that up because I could have swore that the whole thing was centric around me saying, because I remember Slow State on Jack Talcott's panel even saying, everyone needs to come over to my broadcast later because it's going to be all about how Paulie saved Denver. Unless he was lying or that didn't happen either. And I imagine that. It's really strange.
Happen, but it only happened.
It did happen, but it only, okay, so now we're qualifying because you were bullshitting the whole time.
No, I said
and now that we have to bring, okay.
Hours.
This is why I told Slow State I'm not going to do street beefs, because I didn't come on this to be a boxer, and I know he won't show up anyway. If he was going to show up,
the one that challenged him to that. Though.
Right. I got ahead of myself. The reality is I already told him he could meet me privately, and he didn't take me up on that offer. So it proves that he's a clout chaser and a fake.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, it is. And guess what? I even got one better than that. Aluma Tommy doubled down and said they're both scared of me because they say that if they show up here, they are afraid for their life that I'm going to shoot them. And I go, well, you guys are so big and bad and tough and talk a whole bunch of shit and how you're all this, that, and the third. Why would you be scared of that? I don't make qualifications. If I go to meet someone, whatever happens, happens. That's the point. So we're going to set up a street beefs in a cage match like we're two UFC fighters. According to him, I can barely get out of a chair and he can barely laugh or talk without coughing up mucus. So what are we doing? Where does that go exactly? Other than us embarrassing and humiliating ourselves so Slow State can chase clout and get an audience for beating up the big guy. Bunch of fucking nonsense.
Y'all two seem to be nemesis.
No, he seems to be a jealous, envious, broken hoe. Who, if he's not over here watching, waiting, and hating and inserting himself, his minions and co-creators are. The other loser failures who like have some other fetish with me.
I know you're not referring to me. Are you referring to me?
Obviously, I'm referring to you. You're not known for anything here except panel hopping and.
I haven't even.
Oh, he probably sent her here so you can have a better show.
I always wonder. The reason I don't just throw them out or not bring them up is I always wonder how long they'll do this. I'm fascinated by how long they'll do this and where it goes nowhere. Like when they get some shame or dignity, just leave and don't come back. And it never happens. They're shameless. They have no dignity or honor. They have no purpose, meaning, or value of their own. It's really pathetic.
You're the worst, Tarek. And then you just said to Sophia, you're always holding on to the past and holding on to things. That's all you do, Tarek. You
No,
have
I'm just throwing out facts of the
no,
fake Christians
no,
like you and Sophia and Jack and freaking others.
no. You
Uh,
are a whole different level of
okay,
crazy.
that's no problem. I'll take
I
that. No
know
big
it's no
deal. Just don't.
problem. I know it's
Did
no
Flow
problem.
State send you here? Did Flow State send you here so you can
No,
have better
he
contact at
didn't.
night?
But you're not going to
I'm sure he
believe
did.
that. You're going to make up your whole story. 'cause
I'm
you
sure Flow said to you,
story.
"Hey, Cynthia, go over there so I can have some content so we can talk about Paul all day."
There's no point of even acknowledging
Bunch
your
of fake,
story.
lying, fucking Christians.
Oh my gosh. And a fake flying Muslim. Who cares what you think about me? You're
All
not.
right, go ahead. I'm sure Flow State sent you here. Go ahead, monkey.
Okay, you're an idiot if you think that, but that's what you are. But I just came
Nope.
up here because I wanted to chit chat with Paul about this confusion between him and Flo.
Oh wow, you care about Paul now? Since when you care about Paul? When you bash him all the time? Flow State.
Say I cared about Paul? Like
Oh,
do you
okay.
jump hurdles the way you jump to conclusions? Do you jump hurdles the same damn way?
Okay.
Cynthia,
Go ahead.
you're not that Cynthia. You're not that smart. You're not that clever. And you guys get what you want because I give you everything. Like I let you up here. I know what you're talking over me again because you're a big fat mouthed pig who doesn't understand how to interact with a man. That's why you don't have one and can't get one or keep one. One day you'll learn. Daddy must have never taught you. It's a common theme. So we're not stupid. We know your MO. If you ever come up here, it's to ask me questions and get responses so you can fish for content and bring it over to wherever you're going to bring it. You've been doing this from the beginning. I just don't pay you any mind. And I purposely play into it because it's going nowhere. I'm not threatened by you. And you think lying and pretending is going to get you to stay here, be here. I know you're a pig. I let you be a pig. I'm not going to stop you. Why do you have to lie about it? We all know who and what you are and have seen what you do. Just cut the games. Why don't you just own the position for once in your life? I'd at least respect you. Jab and all. Jabbed up and slaved up and all. I'd at least just respect you if you said, I'm a game playing pig for content. I'm desperate to make a way in the metaverse. And the only time I ever come up to talk to Pauly Boy is to fish for content that I can remix. I know it's the case. You know it's the case. Just own it.
I'm sorry. Were you saying something? Because like, shut the fuck up, bro. I came up here to have a conversation with you. If you're incapable of it, or you're
what makes you think in your bizarre mentality that I want to have a conversation with you after everything?
What the thing is this not a panelverse where we can come up and talk? And if I have a question, do you want me to come to you, or should I go talk about it?
You don't have conversations. You gaslight. You bait and switch. You play dumb, or you are dumb. In which case, either way, I don't like talking to dumb people or people who play dumb for power games.
You haven't even
makes
asked
you think
why
that.
I'm asking you the question, but it's what you can.
You're not actually asking questions you don't know the answer to. You're pretending to not know.
I'm trying to
pretending to not know the answers to ask questions to get content.
I'm trying to
so you can evaluate it and remix it. It's obvious.
Hey Cynthia, can I ask you a question? Why is the missing link having an interview with you?
Ask me a question. No,
I know, but why would the missing link? That just shows the missing link has no, he's nothing actually. He's a piece of shit as well. He's having an interview with Cynthia. What do you bring to the table?
I just said you can't ask me a
question.
Do
you guys ever notice, like the audience? I'm asking the audience now. Like Mitchell and others just said, Paul, we noticed you like dropped the loser failures. You just kept moving. Your numbers are up lately. Conversation with Brian, good broadcast. Everything's good. And somehow they always have to come back and cycle back. Do you think there's a coincidence?
Yeah, man,
is it because they want the energy and power and the airtime and the numbers and whatever else comes with it? Is it all just a coincidence?
It was really good.
You guys are
like
I can't get them out of my life and just stop showing up when I've told them over and over. They have no value here.
You're being too graceful, man. Stick to your agenda you had set forth, man. You said you had
I know, and that's the thing is it becomes when you do the panel, how do you even manage the two without just completely, I guess, saying, okay, everyone gets 5 seconds or 30 seconds. If I'm not interested, I just throw you out, feel however you want about it, because it never goes anywhere. And they're only here for just their own personal gain and reasons. They don't give a fuck about what I'm doing or what I'm saying or what the experience is here, or even their own life and their own credibility.
Well,
Bizarre.
That's the
That's
nature of
not
all
true.
discourse.
I
man.
came up here to ask you because I noticed that you do come over there, and then within the first 5 minutes, it does seem like you get ganged up on, and then you're gone. And the whole purpose of you going there to have the conversation is completely lost. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it lost? Whenever you've come to my panel, even though we don't always have the highest opinion of each other, you often stay there and you can often be engaged in conversation. I'm trying to decipher within my mind, within my abilities,
Okay.
why is it that you can't stay there and you can stay
You're
at
making
mine?
it about me. It's disingenuous. Instead of you asking why Slow State can't invite me there, talk to me like a grown person and a human being, have an extended conversation without the ganging up purposely, the falsely empowered codependent dynamic, throwing me in the back and playing power games, you should probably go ask him. Why are you asking me? Disingenuous,
You're half the
projecting.
story. You're half of it. Shouldn't I come to the source?
Have you asked him yet? Have you asked him yet?
Have you? I have my own theories on it, but of course
your own theories. What are your theories exactly for why he? What are your theories exactly for why he does broadcasts about me, and then when the subject shows up, plays games with my name, throws me in the back, won't have the conversation about who I am and the facts? What are your theories exactly? I'd love to hear them. You're such a genius intellect.
For some reason, there's like from my perspective, in my perspective only on the outside looking out, okay? Like he would be the cooler guy to come hang out with, right? And you would be the guy that's kind of on the outside, but you're kind of cool too. And so it would make sense for me, even though you two don't agree, that y'all would have great conversations because both of you are very passionate about any
Not true. I got to stop you there. I talked to him privately at one point. I told him we could have a good dynamic. He doesn't have to like me or even respect me or agree with me to check his bitch ass feelers and need for power and control because he's invalidated in his life. He can't get it done. Just like Jack Talcott can't get it done.
I haven't even been there. But for some reason, when you get there, like he's like he can be in control. He can be that cool, calm. But when you actually get there, for some reason, within 5 minutes, chaos ensues.
Because he's a bitch in his feelers and he can't control them or cop to them. The bottom line is just a month ago, whatever it was, Jeff Pizer was up there. And these people come up in my algorithm, even if I'm not subscribed to them. So I go look at the initial screen. I saw Pizer up there. I knew he was having the thing with the farm. I went in there. He was talking about it. I went up there and proceeded to talk with Jeff Pizer and Slow State there for probably a good half hour to an hour. No problems.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm not completely in control of the way these interactions go, especially when I don't have the physical control and power. When you give the physical control and power to the metaphysically powerless, you tend to have corruption and resistance and issues with exchange. And that's what I believe you have there with him.
Do you think it is the subject? Is it the fact that you're a worthy adversary when it comes to these type of conversations? Like, why is it that you were able to have something with them at one point in time and other times not? What is that one factor?
It's the same thing that Slavecott does and Mazio does, the pathetic warrior who hasn't shown up in 2 weeks with no explanation. They see me as their biggest competition that outshines them and outspeaks them and outlives them in certain ways. And rather than them just use it to fuel them to be and do better and have a better broadcast, they use it to try to take power over me and equalize. And it's fucking nonsense.
Why is it adversarial?
They put themselves in an inferiority complex and they presume that I think that they can never be as good or better than me at anything. And that's not the case.
Mm.
Yeah, why is it adversarial? You know, like, shouldn't you just be talking just for the sake of the subject, or is it the motive, like they want to sound and be something, and it's to fulfill? Yeah, I don't even like to talk on it, man. I think it's really, really trivial, and it does bring down the quality of any panel just speaking on it.
It does. I mean, it does.
Bro, what do you think happens, Cynthia?
Mm-hmm.
You've gone to these other goofy fucking sectors, whatever. I'm not judging them. The Mo 3
Oh,
and all
yeah,
the rest.
I heard your freestyle. Oh man,
All
I
right,
want to
so
thank you from the bottom of my heart of the gems that you gave me about So Player.
all right, so let me get down to what I'm saying, right? Like the in these dynamics we see in the hip hop culture, what always takes down a group, an organization, a person on a movement? It's always some jealous, envious hater who's trying to get what the fuck that motherfucker has. And when they turn on the radio every day and hear him talking and hear their music and hear their bitch listening to him, they start to go out of their mind and they start acting out. And that's all you have in these dynamics. You got folks who've been watching and listening to me for years at this point. They've been waiting for me to go to jail or someone to put a bullet in me. And the more that I'm on here talking and it hasn't happened, the more they're getting eaten alive in their pride and ego, right? And their jealousy and envy. And it's ridiculous. I'm nothing that special or unique. I don't think any of us really are. I just care and I just put myself to whatever the fuck I'm doing until I come up with something. That's the only difference between me and everyone else around me. They actually put their fucking nose down to the grindstone, dedicated themselves to something in their life, to some level of completion, and really cared about it. They come up with something, right? And then they'd be actual competition for me and what I'm doing. They don't want to do that. It takes too much out of them. They rather just try to throw rocks at me, whoever they see is above and beyond them. It's their inferiority complex. It's not my superiority complex. I'm giving them a hand up indirectly. They're trying to pull me in with them while I give them a hand up.
Yeah, they don't got it in life, and they're trying to get that something from here, or from speaking on something, or they're speaking on what they do got to fill the void for what they don't got.
Do you think? I mean, I'm just saying Flow State because he's really the only person that I can think of that I also talk to. Do you think that when you hear the term iron sharpens iron, do you think that both of you could sharpen each other, or would it only be you would sharpen him, or do you see value in him sharpening you as well?
I think that he brings some logical perspectives at times. He can, if nothing else, be there to provide what I perceive as the usual worldly perspective. I mean, pretty much, again, there's no way for me to communicate my experience without it almost sounding demeaning. I look at him as he's the every man in every bar across Kansas or America. He thinks he's deep and mysterious and, that he's got like this handle on life and how it works. I think that he's, deluded himself. And I think that he's rather disillusioned in life. So, if nothing else, it's like Paulie's the crazy conspiracy theorist guy out on the fringes, like you said. I'll even go with your characterization. I'm the wild man, wacky wild card, and he's the everyday common man. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Right. But these guys can't get out of their own way to observe themselves third party impartially, have a good sense of humor about it, and just go with the damn flow. Just go with whatever dynamic is organically presented and accept it for what it is.
I would like to see, I'm not saying you two will ever get along, but I would like to see more panels with you two on there. I think that both of you are very strong in your views and opinions, and you won't back down from each other. And I do think that you, along with him, are some of the people that could have the strong conversations, or else we all still wouldn't be drawn to these circles somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely candid. Something about him, the way that he looks and presents, it might even be a reflection of me and the people that I'm used to being around at one point. I'm not necessarily saying I'm better than him. Something about him, the way he looks, his facial expressions, the way he carries himself, he irks me. So I could just step back from that and look at that. I think I know what it is, right? He's a reflection of somewhat how I used to be, and I don't like that version of myself. So I think that when I'm around him and I speak to him, it kind of brings up something in me, and he may have the same report of me, from his perspective.
Well,
yeah,
it's something. Being an
I think oftentimes
it is.
No, I think oftentimes my experiences with people are indirectly tainted by my palpable disrespect for them. There's no other way to put it. People can feel people that I respect and people I don't respect. I really don't have I don't try to, and I don't have, unless I want to, a great poker face. And I don't try to. I could if I wanted to. I don't try to. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. So you pretty much know, being in the room with me, who I kind of respect and like and where we're going versus where we're at and what's liable to happen. So that's usually why I keep myself out of those venues, because I don't want it to come to something, right? If a motherfucker don't respect me and I don't respect them, I just stay away from them, because the alternative in the life that I live is something's going to happen and we're all going to regret it. Right. And now the other alternative is I'd rather take that dynamic of neither of us respect each other and put all that energy into doing a good broadcast. We can knock down, drag out, disrespect each other, say whatever the fuck we think and feel, and then keep it moving. You know, it doesn't have to become personal beyond whatever it is that we feel with or for ourselves and each other. Right. Whatever that means. You know, so I'm pretty able to, you've seen me at times go into those places where I don't respect these people, but it's about the truth. I talk on the truth. I try to be cordial and courteous, and I try to not be directly disrespectful and challenge motherfuckers' ego and masculinity. And then some point or another, they want to play with me and test the waters. So at that point, I got two options. I can go off on them and we can double down, or I can just leave. I ain't running. I'm protecting myself and my energy, and indirectly them. Because the reality is, if you keep pushing this and playing this game online, it's going to spill over to reality. Someone's going to wind up doing or being or having something they're not going to like, and they're going to be sorry about it. So if he was smart, like I believe I'm smart, and had any kind of humbleness and humility, he'd drop the fucking ego and pride games, and he'd stop trying to test the waters and play games, especially with a motherfucker who he knows, as he says and the rest of them say, ain't all the way right upstairs. They try to play that game, right? Paulie boy's crazy. I don't think that I'm an unreasonable, illogical, unethical, violent man, right? I don't live in hate. I try to be resolute and reconciliatory. If you keep pushing and playing the games and you won't give us any out, at some point, it goes to a different situation. And I don't know why anybody would want that when, as you just said, what I told him in private, what I told Slave Cot and everyone is, there's a lot of potential here to do broadcast. Whether you like me or think that you got what, if you got something else, go do it. Fine. I haven't seen it yet, but there's a lot of potential here. I could be your co-host, non-co-host, and you could get to all the things you're scrapping and scraping for that you haven't gotten to yet. They can't just check their ego and say they're probably better off with Paulie Boy in the room than against him. That's all this comes down to. They just can't check their ego and say, I'm probably better off, whether it's broadcasting wise, audience wise, with what they want to see, what's interesting, money wise. We're probably better off being in good favor with Paulie Boy, even if it's just saying we don't like each other, but we're going to show up and do a damn good broadcast. That's a way to get my respect and be in good favor with me. Can't get it done. They want to prove that they're better off without Paulie Boy, and they're going to compete with him and overtake him and do just as good, if not better. Okay, have at it. I'm not down on it. Everyone's got to make their way and make their bones and find out who and what they are and what they're not. I'm not down on it.
When you say that people play with you, do you view that as something like, I don't know how to say it the right way. Like, I would be honored if people were always trying to attack me. That means I'm something that they want, something like, do you see it as something to, or are you just hateful? Like, why the fuck? Like, is it something that
I get it. It's an honor in a sense.
Yeah.
They're really just establishing that I have something that they want that they don't feel they can get without taking me down.
Do you see that as a value, or?
Yeah, I'm more frustrated about the fact that we're grown people and can't just channel all this garbage into something productive for everybody. You know, that's more what I think you're sensing on me. It's not anger and hate. It's a frustration that there's so much opportunity and potential here that I've experienced that I'm not really in lack of or in need of, but other folks are. And rather than them work with me to produce something for all of us, they want to play these fucking games indefinitely that go nowhere. It's bitch ass shit.
I've said on Flo's panel a lot, obviously, and whenever it's brought up, there's often panel members who are like, I've only heard of Paul. I've never actually been on a panel with him. I've never gone to his panel. I want to. Do you think that the reputation that you have, not only in Flo's, but other areas, do you think it's an accurate representation of who you are, or is it not?
In some senses, yeah. I think the problem becomes that it's a limited perspective. It's taken out of context. Folks take an aspect of me they see and hear or hear about. They make that the all of me, and they don't see the rest and everything else in between. Right? So what else is new? As if you'd expect fairness and equity and trust and truth from the majority of a bunch of miscreants who don't live that way in themselves and in their life. Not likely.
Do you
So
think
it doesn't surprise me.
Do you believe that you are fair when it comes to your dealings of other individuals?
I try to call it as I see it. You could argue how I'm seeing it is not correct. I'm just kidding myself or I'm delusional. Possible. I think everyone's susceptible to that at times, potentially. I try to just call it as I see it. And then we can argue backward from how it's not that. Show me. Don't tell me. But
I do agree. Some of it is taken out of context with you. But I think that's kind of who we all, it's Paul. We kind of, you're the angry guy. We kind of, it's expected now, but.
Yeah, you almost get typecast. It's to the point where I can't even come in anymore and be a loving, caring, patient, peaceful person because they'll go, I've even had him say it. This is boring. When's he going to go off on us and yell at us? I've literally had him tell me that. They go, you're known for this. You're typecast now. Don't come in and try to be normal, peaceful, patient, caring, kind even. Don't be logical and reasonable. Just go off on everybody and tell us all how we're pathetic, fake-ass, cowardly slaves. And I go, so you want that, is what it comes down to. You say you hate it, I'm victimizing you, but ultimately you need that and want that because it's some kind of a twisted daddy archetype, it seems. It's the same reason these folks vote for a president who then mocks him, humiliates him, abuses him, and then reminds him that, hey, you only have the rights that you fucking live and keep. All the rest of this shit is nonsense. It's bullshit.
Cynthia's pushing up a Proud Boy, Fed-tied, pedophile supporting piece of shit acting like he's legit.
She's actually right now not pushing up anybody. It seems she's actually engaging in a back and forth where she's trying to give me the opportunity to speak what my perspective is without presuming and assuming and judging and projecting. I want to believe that. I'm choosing to believe that. That's what it seems like. So even if she started off doing that, it doesn't seem she's doing that now. So you got to roll with the punches.
No, it's
I
just
agree.
promotion for a fucking little clique over there. She knows what she's doing, Daddy. She's a job of the heart. Pfizer approved, knows what.
Snaps, have you seen Baby Reindeer?
Not even close to being on point. He's a Claire's earring boy, pedophile fucking Proud Boy, college frat fucking wannabe, pedo supporter. What does he bring value? What does that he can't even hang drywall. What the fuck does that Claire earring wearing motherfucker bring to the plate? Tell
you
me,
remind me of Martha and Baby Reindeer, Snaps. And tonight
again, you're jabbed. You took the Pfizer jabbed and approved, and yet you're pushing up the pedophile supporter like Flow State. I'm asking you, what value does Flow State bring?
Of that type.
Dude, what value does Flow State bring? He's into satanic shit. You're supposed to be Christian, right? He's totally into satanic shit.
He's fake Christian. She's not Christian.
Yeah, Cynthia's okay with that shit because she's like Sophia, the fake Christian.
But again, Paul said it earlier the best, that when you have the highest consciousness like Paul does, a lot of people be gravitated to him in terms of coming to him no matter what he does. And that's how it works in anything. If you are close to that consciousness, other people will follow you. They will be gravitated to your energy. That's the truth statement.
Hey, Tarek, Snaps.
Who's the can't even name one good thing Flo's valuable at? I can name a shitload. Okay, I will name what Flo is valuable at since you won't. Flow State's valuable being tied and proud of Proud Boys, Fed tied. He's valuable at pushing up and supporting pedophiles online. He's valuable at trying to talk shit and collect shit. Like, the whole, hey, Paul, how much money you make, your account, this and that. Kind of like when you first showed up on the scene, Cynthia, asking everyone for every information about them, almost damn near their social security number. You guys remember when Cynthia first showed up on the scene? Don't forget every question and how she was asking questions.
Again, hello? I've now realized that I'm an hour over my ending time. Okay. Barely got to any of the things that I had up there. We've barely done any, if any, productive.
Paul, can I interrupt you, please? I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I know. Okay, there's just only one thing that can be said. at this point. There are enemies in this world that we live in, or this realm that we live in, and we don't need to be fighting with each other. There's so many more important things for us to focus on. And all of this is it's too much.
Right. And that's the
we
thing.
need to-
Nobody's asking you folks to come here day after day and vomit this garbage onto me. I show up,
What I
do a
mean,
broadcast.
what I mean is this: we all
Oh my
know
God.
that this world is messed up right
It's
now.
like I can't get
and
out of
we
this
are not each
relationship with
other's
these
enemies.
people. They
We
won't
don't
let me
need to
out.
be each other's enemies.
Why do you people in your life have to be thrown out or abused everywhere you go in order to leave and not come back, or to just observe and report and not inject your nonsense into the dynamic? Like I don't get it. You guys so badly want to be a part of something, and it's like, okay, let's be a part of making a great broadcast. No, we'll sit around and trauma bond and cycle and spin for years, failing and losing, and we'll take the one person in the room who might have a shot at like facilitating some success and productivity. We'll just shit on him and fuck with him. How does this work for any of you? What do you all get out of this? I'm dying to know.
Well, Paul, there's a bigger thing happening, and you often
you all need a daddy.
You often speak of it as the creational force.
And I don't want to have to be it. I'm open to being it. I don't want to have to be it every day. Some days I just want to come on, do my 3 hours, hit the 5 things, do an empowering, inspiring, flowing broadcast, and not deal with everyone's insanity and personality disorder. And I'm pretty sure my audience agrees. Why you want to come on here and display your personality disorder is beyond me. The worst part is, it'd be great if we could display the personality disorder, then have actual conversations about how and why everyone here is sick and how to change it. But you won't do that either. So it just becomes like, that's I'm Joe Biden now. His last speech.
You're right.
It just becomes maddening, cycling and spinning that goes nowhere for you and takes me down from where I'm meant to go in this
I'm
thing.
not trying to harm you, Paul. I'm not.
You're not
I appreciate you letting me on your
ask my father, ask my mother, ask my teachers, ask my coworkers with the face coverings. Everyone's best efforts to help me or be a part of my life has not helped. It's actually indirectly harmed and hurt. So I'm just asking now, if you have something you want to contribute, if you want to do a good broadcast, if you want to help fix your dysfunction, presuming you believe you have it, we can do that, right? Well, if not, then like this doesn't help you, doesn't help me. You're actually destroying one of your biggest opportunities and links in this non-community to be relevant and in the conversation and have a voice and to hold everyone accountable and actually do some work and change in self and in this world. You're throwing it down the drain just to be seen and heard and identified with in your sickness, dysfunction, and failure in life. And I don't get it. Other than that, most folks have loser syndrome. They're born to lose, and they're guaranteed in this life to believe that they're going to forever lose. And they're never going to actualize and realize and be fulfilled in this life and have or be or do anything greater than what the fuck their weak-ass lineage has already shown them. Because odds are, if their parents and their friends showed them anything better, they'd already be doing better with them. And they haven't, and they're not. So just keep it up, right? I obviously love everyone or am faithful enough to continue to allow it. So it's my fault. I don't have to allow it here, and I continue to. Maybe it's some misguided sense of guilt I have that I'm not better than anyone. In a way, I'm a lot worse. You know, I haven't quite got a handle on it, right? But ultimately, I probably should just limited panel, few, if any, folks up with me, even just lean on doing it by myself, leaning on the other content and commenting on that, and just staying away from the open panel. Because it doesn't fucking go anywhere for years on end, and it's literally maddening. This is somebody who spent most of their life arguing, fighting in chaos in institutions, and I'm literally saying the panel is one of the most maddening things I've ever experienced. It's pure Asylum Central.
Yeah,
Same
man, we're all
names
ready
every
for the
day,
content,
same
man.
bullshit, same lines, no progress, same projections, same rejections, same bullshit codependent emotional state. At some point, I'm literally at the point I go, I need about another third of my audience to just leave and don't fucking come back. Because you're so dysfunctional for yourselves. Your dysfunction is like bleeding over onto me and into my life. And it's not the reason that I started to do this. I left everyone and everything behind to not do that. And somehow, I guess, you can't run from self. So I must be manifesting this somehow, some way. It's got to come down to me. I'm either doing it, it's a part of who and what I am, and I'm drawing it in, or I'm allowing it to come in and not drawing healthy enough boundaries.
Have you seen Baby Reindeer, Paul?
I don't know who that is or what the deal is.
It's a show on Netflix, but they kind of talk about this issues. It's about this guy who wants to be a comedian, and he's met this lady who literally sounds just like Snack Food. Like when she gets mad, she'll call everybody in his family and call him a pedo and say that he's a fraud. Like it's so much like Snaps. And he can't understand why he's always drawn back to her, because she's totally wrecking his life. She's horrible. She just totally gets on his nerves. And he finally concludes that it's because she sees him the way he wishes other people saw him. Like she saw the best in him. He was the greatest comedian. He had great bone structure. And he liked that she saw him that way, that he was willing to overlook all of the other madness that came with it. And it really
goes back to this sort of Jungian psychology where this thing is revealed of folks coming to these places and falling into the same dynamics that get us all into trouble. Like, you're not here to recognize my light and my gold and my this and my that and then project onto it or reject it. If you recognize it, presuming it's there for you to live and create from as you, because I am that am, and so are you, right? So, it's like that's why a lot of these things happen, because we make a determination. It's common sense right from the street. Somebody is doing, being, or having something more, it seems, or something we want to have or a part of. Mm-hmm. How are we going to do it either our own way or in the same way in order to get that and make it be authentic? Or you can just fucking hate on it. And then there's a lot of folks who, I guess there's a third option real quick, who they just watch and wait. Right. There's three kind of people. People who watch things happen, wait for things to happen, and people who make things happen.
And I'm speaking in general also, but I'm saying you, but I'm in general. Do you think that, like, let's say I saw you do a show and then I was inspired, so I kind of did a show off of what you said. Would you view it as, oh, she was inspired by me? And again, it goes back to, I put that out there and it went somewhere. Or are we going with, she's just copying me? They can't go get their own content. Is it both?
It's a little bit of both, because I want the Cynthia to come on and say, I went through it all here, the good, the bad, the ugly. I've deceived myself at times. Here's where I fell short. I've learned more from that. I'm moving toward being this, right? That's the authentic transmission and conversation and expression. You got a lot of folks who haven't done as much self-work away from here who want to pop up on here and act like they're a completed picture. You're just playing yourself and everybody else in the interaction. Folks know how much of that is true on some level or not.
I don't know why you flipped it back to me, because I'm
just giving an example. I'm just giving an example.
But it kind of wasn't. But what I'm asking is, sometimes I can be, and I'm speaking in myself, but in general.
My point is, Cynthia, am I going to expect Cynthia to go do a broadcast about rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith?
No, God, no.
Right, but you say God, no. But again, no, but yes, because
I'm passionate about. It's not a subject that speaks to me the way it speaks to you. But being around you and others seeing your passion has made me at least aware of the situation.
Right. But this is where we meet resistance, because I contend that this is like a spiritual idea and that there is some true enough objective ideal here. If you want to just be a good broadcaster and speak quick and loud like Paulie Boy and be kind of entertaining sometimes, we're probably not going to get along completely, because that's not what I came into this ultimately. It's an aspect of it, but it's not what it's about. That's the thing. The core
Okay,
values and principles system is obviously what separates men here who are being authentic and accountable versus just showmen who are empty people in empty suits. This is why we want to get away from Hollywood, no? Because everyone's showing one thing and doing something else. Isn't the whole point of YouTube an actual, authentic, accountable, I am that am experience from the ground up? We don't have to lie to kick it.
So I'm not sure if I asked my question correctly, because what you're referencing really didn't kind of answer my question. So I'm going to try to ask it simpler. When people are inspired, they can try to do work and it may resemble other work, whether it be an artist who sees a piece of art, whether it be a dancer who sees a move. People, especially on social media, tend to view that as, you just copied me. And instead of viewing it as, look at my art, I inspired somebody, I'm pushing my passion forward. I'm asking, is that how social media is? We see it as a bad thing and not an honorable thing. And I'm speaking in general, not a me, not I'm going to go do a show about Paul, not I'm going to talk about what Paul talks about. Paul's my source of inspiration. I'm just speaking in general. I'm just trying to get your insight.
I mean, yeah, there's kind of a dual world there, right? Where everyone inspires everybody to do whatever it is that they're passionate about doing. I guess where the arrogance on my part comes in is I presume that certain
and people, not you, arrogance in some, not just you. Like, I don't want you to.
Yeah, but I'm just keeping it in the eye. I'm keeping it in the eye because the arrogance comes with me where I'm received, that I presume whether you're a baker, a gardener, whether you're trading Pokemon cards online, whatever you're passionate about, that you're yelling about or that you're presenting, hey, great. Ultimately, look around, look at the world we're living in, look at what we're going to have to do and be to create something different from that if we're having issues with that. And one thing I can say that seems to be a common theme is whether you ask the Pokemon card trader, you know, whether you ask the gardener, the cook, the guy yelling, you know, rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, there's certain things about us and our experience that seem to be like present that need to be understood and dealt with, right? A human condition, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the arrogance is met with me, is that I'm pretty much presumptive in the idea. I bring it to everyone's table that here's what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it, because I'm not different from you. And I think we all need to be doing it. What say you? And I can't get any answer other than, well, that's not my bag, baby. I go rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, honorability, manifestation, the ability to co-create in truth is not your thing. Well, maybe I don't want you around me. You know, that's this character. It comes down to character at the end of the day. There's kind of like worldly interests and habits and ways, and then there's kind of the core of who and what we are in our character. And I believe that we're sorely lacking. The last 4 years has proved it in discernment and character and integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Cynthia, it's both. Like, some people are going to hate on it and people are going to copy their swag, and others are going to be successful like Soulja Boy.
Shut up. Paul, going back to what you were just saying, and you were saying, like, when they come and they see you and they're like, it's not my bag, do you think that you give them too much too fast, and that might be something that hinders it? Because like I said, although I'm not at your passionate level, the thoughts have been at least planted. You know, okay, I need to pay attention more to, like, what should I allow a cop to do, or what can he do or not do?
Yeah, I don't think it's that I necessarily give too much too fast. I think it's most folks have been doing too little for too long. So the juxtaposition of maybe what is appropriate and proper all at once becomes a bit of a burden, and it's a lot to look at and handle. Okay. But it's like, this is the same thing as if you took a drug addict and said, not only are you going to have to, like, stop doing heroin, I know this is going to be crazy, but you're going to have to, like, wake up at a certain time every day and go to work and, like, pay bills and manage your affairs and actually hold a functional relationship. It's like, whoa, that blows my fucking mind. Too much too quick. Well, maybe you just been doing too little for too long. It's about perspective. You know, it doesn't change the truth.
Paul, I would like to tell you something, and I want to tell you that I appreciate that you said this. You told me one time I told you that I was trying to fit in, and you told me that I didn't have to fit in. And that's the best advice I've ever gotten. I wish you well. I wish your audience well. And it was nice to see you, Miss Cynthia. And I appreciate you very much, Paul. And I'm going to leave now because this is ridiculous for me to try to change anyone's mind about myself because I did
Sophia,
the
no one
damage
cares.
and now I got to pay for it.
We've
So
been in the
thanks for
way.
letting me try.
Okay, hold
And I
on.
do have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later, please.
Thanks,
Just,
Paul.
go
Y'all
ahead. I'm going
take
to talk
care.
to you third
Bye.
party from the audience perspective, from the listening
Bye,
perspective.
Sophia.
Please, Sophia, stop writing a story where you're always the victim and things never work out in your favor. Just try to start writing a story where you didn't just 5 times in a row, regardless of everything we said in between, disempower yourself and suck all the inspiration out of the room. Right? It's like, okay, I've made some mistakes maybe in the past. Certain members of the audience have a judgment of me. I'm going to work from here on out to correct me for me because they help make me aware of it. Thank you, audience. I'm not a victim. They're helping me indirectly. And then from here on out, I'm going to like reform myself to be better for me. And that's going to translate to how I'm received. That's the story that a winner writes for themselves. A loser says, I did something and I'm sorry and I'm never going to live it down and now I got to pay for it. No, nobody's prosecuted you. No one's persecuting you. You've not lost anything or been harmed. You got a few folks in chat who you haven't been well received with, and you may argue for good reason. So you either change that and then change their mind over time, or you change yourself and don't change their mind, in which case you get a level up. Or you just ignore what the fuck went on because it's a bunch of online nonsense anyway. And you probably got a list of fucking things in your life that are more important that you need to be doing and focusing on. And indirectly, you're showing you're unthankful and ungrateful and faithless. Because I'm pretty sure what would Jeebus do? He probably would say, you got these things over here to be thankful and grateful for. Focus on that. Do and be and have better. Focus on your faith practice and stop focusing on what folks online in the chat think and feel about you. It's going to be okay, right? Pretty sure that's what Daddy Jeebus would tell you because that's what the fuck makes sense for you.
Yeah. And Paul, I'm grateful that you blocked me in chat, really, because it made me a better person controlling myself, and I don't even bother with the chat anymore. All those texts and all that.
And that's why I do it. They think I do it because I can't handle them. A, you're mucking up my system and what I'm doing here. B, it's not a good look for you. C, when I block you and ban you, you're going to get a lot better at listening and processing and not being reactive. And that's going to be better for you.
Yes, that's very true. Thank you.
You don't have to thank me. Now he's like, this is what Tarek does, where he's like, I just whipped him. And now he's like, thank you, Daddy.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, Paul. You know what? Some people don't like
you don't
when you get in your
feelings for doing what is apparent to me that I feel either I need or you need. And usually that like coincides. I go, I need peace here. I need to be able to monitor the chat. I need direct audience interaction. I need content. What I don't need is Tarek making a fool of himself. He doesn't need that either. Blocked. You don't have to thank me.
Yep. That's very true. Yep.
This service comes like it's gratis, right? It's on the house. It's based on my intuition, knowing self. And if I know self, I may know you on some level.
Yep.
So where do we go with this? Because now I'm 4 hours and 20 minutes in. I'm an hour past leaving to go look at the land that we're now investing in, for lack of a better term. It's beautiful. It's going to be a debt-free paradise of enslavement, unslavement. No, that's confusing. Usually it's enslavement, debt, slavery, mockery, humiliation, incessant pressure and bondage and vice, codependency with corrupt institutions. I know it's confusing, but this is the blessing. This is the grace. This is the glory of what they call God and the God-like experience. I would think it's just kind of abundance, manifestation, co-creation, opportunity. And again, it's not even about positive thinking. It's about looking at the negative, reconciling the negative, and turning a negative into a positive. You can't ignore the negative and do positive thinking and expect to reconcile with the world the way it is and create something with what is presented. I don't believe in that. I don't think that works. So only through observing our and others' darkness and recognizing it and reconciling it can we see the whole picture and then start to manifest maybe what God has meant for us in store, right? But if we want to play these games with ourselves and each other and appeal to false authority and our feelers rather than what the true reconciliation shows and is, I think that we're always going to choose our own loss, our own failure, our own division, our own destruction. That's been my experience.
And baby reindeer, that kind of came up, and I asked, how many times do we go back to chaos that we're familiar with, then walk towards the thing that is going to help us the most because it's unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and we just don't want to get out of that space, so we'll stay in those bad relationships. So, but I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you for letting me come up. I know you're trying to get out of here. Thank you.
All right, Cynthia, we'll see you later.
Bye.
All right, give me the final word. I gotta get the hell out of here. I guess we'll pick up with the, and try. I know there's no point in me even saying anything. It's literally like running a sober house rehab here, where it's a nightly meeting, and I go, hey guys, it was complete insanity here today. No love lost, but let's try to do better tomorrow. And they go, I get it. We get it. We're gonna do that. And tomorrow we're gonna come here and it's gonna be the same fucking shit. Right? Or it'll be no one. No one will come on panel. And then I go, okay, this is it's weird because once you start doing panel and it's in Asylum every day, and then you go back to just broadcasting you and the clips and whatever, okay, when is someone going to interact? But then it's okay, I can deal with this. I can deal with an empty sober house that's peaceful, even if it's a lot, right? It feels like a lot. It's all on me at that point. I got to cook. I got to clean. I got to run the whole house on my own, but at least I have my peace. Prefer my peace in the house here that I've created rather than complete sober house season 10 Asylum energy. I'm here for it. I know that part of my purpose here under God is to do fellowship and to use whatever little ability and talent I have that's so small yet so big, because it's the one thing the majority seem to be lacking. It's this weird game God seems to have. It goes, we're going to give Paulie, the biggest loser failure, obese kid, this discernment and some level of ability just to fuck up all the minds of all the prideful, egotistical corporate males and their inverse system. Right. So I try to do something with whatever that is that works for all of us. I'm open to it. Right. If I have something to give you, I'll freely give it. If not, let me just do the good broadcast. Right. Let me just whatever I'm going to do with it, create it. You don't like it. There's DeCastro. I'm now going to promote Brian from High Impact Flicks. If nothing else, it's going to piss off Snafu. You don't have the Zetetic Warrior anymore, Flat Earth Specialist. 2 weeks, he's been gone. It's a shame. You got Talcott, though, still. You want to choose love and live without fear. You got a lot of options here. Okay? So if you're going to come here, let's do the fellowship. Let's talk about real reality in our life and what's going on and try to, do resolution and resolve and remedy. If not, then, put on your mask. Put on your persona a little bit like Brian O'Shea sometimes. Maybe the mask is really a deeper, more accurate part of you, but it seems like a mask. That game, the bit non-bit. Sometimes. Just come here and do the great broadcast, mix in, add on, or just observe. Be part of the ride. Like Christo. See what he's been doing? He's sweeping up back there, doing some spring, summer cleaning. He's not falling asleep on panel like Penile Power. Not partying with 5 other men in rainbow outfits like Penile Power.
Yeah, it's a matter of getting where you fit in completely. Having the decency that if you're going to hit a panel, at least have something in mind that you're going to be able to contribute. Not just going up there and being a panel bird and hanging out, even though I do that at times. I always have something locked and loaded for the most part. When someone says, hey, you have anything to say, or, what's up? You just joined earlier. So. Yeah.
Right. All right, Christos, I'm going to let you out. That's good advice. Basically, what Christos just said there is a lot of you guys need inpatient rehab. You need some facility, go get with your insurance company, go access that trust with that Social Security and all the rest of it. Go get an inpatient therapy. You can hang out there, be with other people like you who want to live like you, or maybe don't. And then you can talk about that. And then the counselor will force you to talk about stuff or like say you're going to go back to court. Maybe I'm just talking about me and my experience now, right? But I think you get it. I think I was clear about this. And like the guy said down there that I just blocked, he's not completely wrong. He's doing the thing with my last name where he's putting loop into my last name and saying I'm looping. I get it. And I'm engaging in it once again. They won't seem to let me out. I can't put a link and have some folks up without having apparently everyone else up who does what they do over and over again. And I'm thinking, right, this is like how sick I am. I'm fully Talcotted out. I'm having faith that if you just long game this and you surrender sometimes to the moment and you try to provide some level of true love and care and clarity, that over time that these dynamics will change, that certain individuals will get whatever they need under God, and that we're indirectly doing a service here, right? You know, there's a lot of folks out there, whether you selfish people know it or not, who are living with and co-creating with people. I may be one of them, right? Jennifer may need a support group. They're looping day in and day out, and there's no end in sight, right? Things are not getting better. There's no better communication, conversation. And a place like this may be a place for them to reflect and get whatever it is that they need to bring back to their relationship and go, aha, I got it. Turns out, honey, we're in a loop within a loop. We do the same thing day after day with little changes, and those changes add up over time, whether positive or negative or neutral. So, yeah, I guess what mitigates the maddening of the incessant loop here is the recognition that all of life is essentially a upward or downward loop. You can rarely ever stay neutral or stagnant, it seems.
I was actually going to speak on that. I was on the closing words.
Go ahead, sir. Make it brief because I'm already late. I'm an hour and a half late. These folks strung me out once again.
To embrace patriotism and our Freemasonic roots. In life, we have speculation and we have actions. And when our speculations exceed our actions, that's when we begin to descend that spiral staircase.
Right. All right. I'm letting him out on that note. Right. It's called recycling. All of life is a loop, like that chart they used to show. Like entropy, decay, processing, rejuvenation, flowering. It's all one big loop within a loop. Recycle. It's important to recycle. That's all that I'm really saying here. Go ahead, Pino, please. I gotta get out of here. It's mad. It's maddening, right? If I wasn't philosophical about this and faithful,
does go on here.
right? All right, you know what? That's it. I'll see you later because he'll just sit there. He won't say anything. He'll hang on to me. He'll grasp onto me like the daddy who left him before his time. He just won't let go. So this is, again, if you're wondering why your average content creator, Mark Pacio, even Brian from High Impact and other folks, if you wonder, they're too nice, kind, and polite people to say it. I'm not. Okay? I'm not. Not nice, kind, and polite. I'm real. I'm Uncle Paulie. I'm going to shoot straight. I'm going to give it to you real and true. Look, he's in the back now looking at me. Pino, I'm throwing you out of the back. And Jeremy, why are you guys still back there? It's done. It's over. You got to go. Clear out from the back. It's distracting. They're too nice, kind, and polite to say it. This is why they don't put links down and let just anybody up there. Because this is what they'll get. Snafu, Snaps, and others hanging on that won't let go and have little to nothing to add and contribute. I guess it's my fault. The man's right down there. My one troll down there is more right than anyone. The rest of you are like kissing my ass. You're letting me out of this too easy over and over again. You guys won't hold me accountable because, like they say, it's become kind of cult-like here a little bit. You know, kind of doing the bit, not bit, because it's kind of a cult a little bit. You guys got to hold me accountable. Stop allowing this. Stop encouraging my bad behavior indirectly by allowing these people here to do their behavior. Jennifer, new rule. New rule. Tomorrow, you and others will hold me. Right. She came out again to hold me accountable. And I'm signing off now because I told her and this is why, again, see, now I'm doing it. I'll go into a whole explanation. We got to go. There's other stuff to do. It's like I'm being codependent by telling her she has to help me to be accountable when that's a self process. These people are retarded. We're going to say it now together. One more time. The guy down there who's trolling me, who I blocked, you're right. I'm accepting it. I'm signing off like Jack Talcott, where the whole middle I act like didn't just happen. I give you the apology. I say we're going to do something different. I'm probably going to come back again and do it again at some point. I get it. You're right. These people are retarded. They're not helping me. I shouldn't even let them up here. I don't know why I do. They say I'm egotistical and narcissistic. I'm probably the opposite of that. If I was egotistical and narcissistic, I'd be smart enough and savvy enough to just throw them the fuck out or never let them up from the beginning and only make it about me and whatever it is I'm going to present all day, every day. So I will focus on doing what the audience wants, which is becoming even more narcissistic and egotistical like they say I am, because apparently that's what's selling right now. Uncle Paulie Boy's hot, the rest of them are not, and that's okay. They'll have their time to shine, and I'll probably be dead of pizza and pasta overdose. Come on, Ace, you're killing me now. I gotta go. All right, see, that's the thing. I can never really be mad at him because he's like doing shit. Look at that. He's got logos and shit. See? He's doing something. All right, Ace, I gotta get out of here. See, I didn't even have to throw him out. He left. He gets it. Even though he was coming up while I was signing off, he still gets it. He's doing something. He's creating something. He's not harassing me and bothering me. Great stuff. Thank you, Ace, and the others. Thank you, the contributors and supporters. Tomorrow, I'm definitely coming back and running my 3-hour broadcast as much as possible, adhering to whatever it is the docket will be. If you're going to come up, please try to keep a limited consciousness and awareness and direction. Because, yeah, it's a bit much at this point. Especially, too, I got to tell you, the more that I get to where I'm meant to be and, get different opportunities and, we get on the land and we're growing more and just have a beautiful environment, I'm more centered and peaceful. And I'm not, wanting to play these games and do this. Right? I'm just more and more inclined to go, I'm going to do a great broadcast and leave you folks wherever you're at. No love lost, no harm done. But yeah, it's ridiculous at this point. Okay. Say goodnight to the bad guy, everyone. Ice cream pizza party later in the week. Just brighten spirits, because I feel like spirits are kind of lowered a little bit. Not being negative. It's all going to work out. All right, I'm out of here, people. Get a life. Seriously, get the fuck off YouTube. Get off this social media. It's bad for all of us. I'm out of here. Say hello to the Castro if you see him.
Me, I always tell it, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
Where do you think you are now?
The great reset's happening. So when you get all your pretty and nice shit taken away and your bullshit job that leads to nowhere, and you're forced back on the land and have to be self-sustainable and co-creative and work with what is, this talk about your feelings and your ego is going to go right out the window, because the God and the elements and nature are going to present what needs to happen next 9 out of 10 times. That's the difference between me and you. I got it in me, not on me, just like you do. I'm trying to work it out, bring the subconscious to the conscious and figure out who and what I am. Am I good or evil? Am I real and true? Am I a narcissistic, egotistical deceiver? That's the difference. I'm actually authentically trying to work it out while you lie to everyone and project your negative aspects of self onto me, and I don't appreciate it. And the universe don't appreciate it either. And the students of life in this audience don't appreciate it either. This isn't about love of money. This isn't about chasing bags or anything else in and of the world. This is about the Philo-Sophie, right? The love of knowledge, the love of wisdom, the love of understanding of self and applying it to actualize and realize and get better results for yourself and everyone else. I thought that's what we were doing here. So let's get the game back in its proper perspective. The motherfucker doing this shit shouldn't have to talk about it because you folks want to lie on it. It's embarrassing to me. I didn't come on here with the intention of the understanding that this is supposed to be for business or a hobby. That's why I show up the way I do 500 days straight. That's why I have a care in my heart with passion. That's why I do what's true and what's right and see through you motherfuckers and get amazing results for me. We can't allow the generalized experience of life and everything it has to offer, good, bad, and indifferent, to hold us back or keep us paralyzed or keep us fearful or self-doubting or unloving and uncaring of ourselves. How do I know? Because I look into me. That's all this is. I can see further than the rest. I can interpret beyond what's told and shown, and I can amalgamate and communicate the cause and effect and the root of the state of conscious and awareness. That is a astounding testimony to the work that I've done on myself in this world and in this life, and the practices I've walked with other people. The question and answer, the fellowship, the co-creational endeavors, and the conversation that leads to understanding. But again, we can't appeal to false emotions and false authority. That is the cornerstone of cognitive dissonance. You can't say that I'm respectable, righteous, honorable, presentable, and then I have balls and then turn around and hate me or catch feelings over me, be in that and live in that when you don't like it or when it doesn't turn out as favorably for you as you would have hoped or expected, right? That's the theme of a true common bond that goes long term versus the shallow, materialistic, worldly connections that come and go. It is what it is. Some people are down forever. Some people are down for the ride until they got to get off, right? And some people ain't down at all. So through the life experiences, firsthand experiences, through the tests and challenges, you learn more and more who and what is meant for you and who or what is probably not going to be able to sustain the ride. And that's okay.
God of all media.